by electrical fault on one of our generators, which caused the plant's protection system to active and trigger a complete shutdown. The company's technical team was able to identify the cause of the failure and immediately began repair work. As such, restoration of the electricity supply was able to begin at 2 minutes past 1 in the morning and was completed at 23 minutes past 2. That's very, very tremendous. We were able to restore current very quickly to our lovely island that we adore. This morning, I have Mr. Jonathan Kelly, the engineering manager at SKELEC. I have Mr. Kenward Roberts, the assistant engineering manager at SKELEC, and we have our lovely general manager, Mr. Clement Williams. How are you guys doing this morning?
Wonderful.
Yes, I'm doing well this morning.
With that wonderful greeting and happy new year that you gave everybody, I think we're great.
So we'll start off our show. Can you guys, or I guess we'll do it one by one, discuss the company's major accomplishment for 2022. Mr. Williams, we'll start with you.
All right. Good morning, all the listeners and viewers on the different medium. Happy New Year to you. And Janisha already expressed the company's wishes for you for 2023. But I also would like to extend my personal greetings to you and your family. Now, 2022 was a very challenging year for SKELEC. We started off on a good foot, and for no fault of ours, fuel prices started to increase and increase and increase and increase. That did put a tremendous strain on the company as well as the fuel suppliers, because with the Ukraine war, they had to essentially source product from different sources, and you know all the logistical constraints we have. I still haven't collected some of my packages them from the different couriers on the island for Christmas, but you know, good thing my circle is very understanding. So they know as soon as the couriers release them, they will get their presents. But SKELEC had that challenge last year as well. We saw the increase in fuel prices. Then we had some key milestones where we were finally up to date with our maintenance schedule for the most part. Then we had 2 critical failures on the generator 4 and the generator 1, G1 and G4. Those 2 brought our capacity down significantly. For the first part of it, it forced us to do a little bit of load shedding while we did some emergency maintenance. Then right out of that, we had an explosion, a cable fault at the plant, which caused a partial outage. And then you just mentioned the blackout. The first blackout for the year happened close to the end of the year. We almost get away with it. But 2023 promises to be a good year for us. We have a lot on the horizon. The 2 gentlemen on my left, Mr. Kelly and Mr. Roberts, have been working assiduously, writing different proposals to companies and the government in order for them to become partners, stakeholders in some of the projects that we have moving forward for 2023. So I will leave it there, and I guess your follow-up questions will be addressed by Mr. Kelly and Mr. Roberts. So again, everybody, Happy New Year, and don't forget, SKELEC is the #1 utility in the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis, and we are here to serve you.
Thank you very much for your contribution, Mr. Williams. Mr. Roberts, Mr. Kelly, you have anything to add?
I think the general manager has covered it very well. The only thing we would add is that at times, you know, the general public may not fully understand the hard work that goes on behind the scenes to just be able to keep the island powered. So we have to take this moment to give commendation to the hardworking men and women of SKELEC who have gone above and beyond and they made the sacrifices throughout the year of 2022, and we do salute them, and we continue to solicit their support as we move through 2023.
Okay, thank you very much. As we move on with our discussion, what were some of the technical improvements? So we had Mr. Williams discuss the major accomplishments. What are some of the technical improvements we had?
Okay, I'll just touch on something. When you look at it, we went through the hurricane season. Now we had TS Fiona, and thanks to God that we didn't have any major storms. But I think the public, if they were to be honest, would have been able to give testament to the fact that we had power throughout most of the island throughout that duration of that storm. Now, that was not just by chance. That was as a result of throughout the year, in preparation leading up to that, we would have continued with our resilience and our hardening of our grid. We would have been going through changing out a lot of infrastructure that would have been rotting and those that would have been impacted by salinity and stuff like that. You know, the teams on the T&D side of things. Underground network resilience programs, and also improvements of substations, also vegetation management. Those are just to name a few. So Roberts will continue with a few others as well.
Okay, well, we would have also made some focus on in terms of hardening our grid with a fire retardant program in which we would have applied throughout the critical areas that are prone to fires. So that programs would have made some headway as well in 2022. We would have also made some major, work internally in terms of our review of our technical systems towards improving really reliability. So we continue to focus on improving that. And I can say that besides what would have occurred in the last week or so, we would have gone about 20 months since our last blackout, which would have been in April 2021. So between April 2021 and December 2022, that was 20 months, of course. We were really hoping to been, as well as most persons are aware, 2022 would have had quite a bit of challenge when it comes to supply chain, and that would have impacted SKELEC as well. And of course, I don't need to mention inflation. So the combination of inflation and supply chain has had its impact on the company. But the GM and the finance team are doing their best to support the needs of the technical side and still being able to meet our targets. Because well, there is one thing I can say is that the industry is quite expensive, and as such it really requires quite a bit of financial resources to keep the company going. And so during 2022, that was one of the major challenges.
Okay, thank you very much. We have a call at this time. Good morning, caller.
Good morning to everybody. Happy New Year to you all.
Same to you.
Is it a possibility that we could take a look at the sugar factory generators and see what can be retrieved from them?
Pardon, caller, we didn't hear you.
We didn't hear you.
Is it a possibility that we could take a look at the sugar factory generators that they are not using, and that we could take a look at them and see what can be had from them?
Thank you very much for your contribution, caller. We'll be sure to take your suggestion into consideration, because these are the guys that will deal with this and do the investigation.
That's a very interesting question, but I think the last time I had a walk through that sugar factory, those generators are seized by now, rusted over, probably have been exposed to the elements. But it's a good suggestion nonetheless.
And
but
I think we disconnected the feed from the sugar factory to the grid.
as well. Yeah,
so that would involve installing a brand new circuit, and I don't even know what the size of the units over there were. It could be a contribution, but it might cost more to buy a new generator than to even try to salvage. But it's something that we can consider.
Thank you for the suggestion.
Thank you. GQ, any more callers? Okay. As we wrap up shortly. Can you tell us what are some of the upcoming plans for 2023? Because as you mentioned earlier, some of the challenges, and where there's challenges, there's room for improvement. So what are some of the upcoming plans for 2023?
All right, so what I think there's a call.
Is that all?
Okay.
Good morning, Carlo.
Yeah, good morning. Good morning, everybody. And I wish you all a happy New Year. A bright and prosperous New Year.
Same to you.
Same to you.
All of you. Z everybody. And all who listening.
Hold a second, caller, because we can't hear you that clearly.
Yeah?
Can you repeat what you were saying?
I said I wish all of you, including ZIZ, a bright and prosperous New Year. You hear me better now?
Yes. Thank you very much, sir.
There was but I was a distance away, so I thought you would be okay. Anyway, I just let me make a quick comment. Sometimes people call in and say things like about the sugar factory and so forth. You could do this and do that. Sugar factory ain't got nothing up there we all want, as far as I'm concerned. Sugar factory is a different era. And the main generators, them they up there work with steam. Unless you're going to build a boiler and work it with maybe bunker fuel and generate steam and a lot of things. When you don't want people to attend the boilers and maintain them and all of that. So sometimes people shouldn't say anything when they don't know anything about anything. So I just backing up your argument with that. And they had some old diesel generators up there from when I worked there for a long time. I could talk because I worked there. And they ain't no use in the modern sense. No use whatsoever. And the capacity was not great. So, and then being a changing situation where you're on fuel efficiency, I don't normally agree with everything you all say about your generation plant over there. But I'm not a genius anything, but I could talk because I know some things. But sometimes we can't run at new models because you're small and you're poor. And I also know that in the tropics, generators are not as efficient as in the the temperate lands because of the heat and so forth and so forth. So you are trying to reach to the public, which is a good thing. But I still think you're all far away, and someday you got to watch your terminology that you use. Because for people who are the masses, they can understand unless it is broken down for them. So that's one area I think you all need to work on. And as time goes by, I will make some comments now and then because of some things I see around, but not for now. So all the best and take good care.
Thank you very much, Carlo.
Yeah,
and a happy New Year to you. We will be sure to consider all the suggestions that you gave, and we thank you for agreeing with our engineers this morning, because at SKELEC we are moving to an era where we are producing greener energy, and we do not want to go back in time and produce energy that is more of a pollution than greener energy.
Yeah, a matter of fact, as you mentioned, that it's part of the shareholder, which is the government of St. Kitts. For SKELEC, SKELEC is a private company with one shareholder, the government of St. Kitts and Nevis. Now, the mandate to SKELEC is to move to renewable energy by 2030. Now, we are well on the way to that. We have a PPA signed with a solar company. I understand the final negotiations are underway, and we should be seeing the fruit of that well-watered tree coming very soon, as well as we have geothermal over in Nevis. Just recently some funding has been approved for the development of production wells for geothermal energy over in Nevis. I think the initial target is about 30 megawatts that should be able to supply the electricity for both St. Kitts and Nevis. Now, how are we going to get this together? How are we going to utilize all of that? We come to the word one grid, or the term one grid. That is where we have both grids of St. Kitts and Nevis operating in unison, and that can be achieved by running an undersea cable connecting the two islands, and then SKELEC and NEVLEC will be running in parallel. From there, we have a lot of land for the development of solar, for the development of wind. We have offshore wind, and then we go to where now you can make the electricity sector a generator of finance for the economy. Whatever excess, we can utilize it in making fuel in terms of hydrogen or ammonia that can be sold. We can also go into possibly cryptocurrency, Bitcoin mining. That is a very energy intensive industry, and we're currently going through a crisis with water. We can use a lot of that excess energy into desalination, which is also very energy intensive. So I know from my discussions with our shareholder representative, the Honorable Conway Maynard, the line minister, he has mentioned a lot of these things both publicly and privately in our meetings. So I know for sure pretty shortly the government will be putting out statements on these policies that SKELEC has to adhere to. But I can say we won't be surprised because we are directly involved in everything that is being discussed at that level.
Thank you very much for your contribution, Mr. Williams. Mr. Kelly, Mr. Roberts, anything you wish to add as we close?
No, the GM comprehensively covered it.
Well, as we close our discussion this morning, I would like to wish our staff at SKELEC a Happy New Year, and we hope you can achieve all your goals as well. Remember to keep pushing, at least try something to achieve your education, push your education. If you have a degree, push for another one, or don't even do a short UWI course, because at SKELEC we want our staff to be equipped and ready for any circumstance at hand.
That is so true. Our staff is actually our number one asset in the company, and it is very imperative that we make sure that everybody achieves their full potential in order to better themselves and the company by extension. So again, Happy New Year to the staff of SKELEC, and you will all be seeing me shortly as I do my visits to the different campuses of SKELEC.
You bringing gifts?
Sure. Okay. Sure, no problem.
Thank you. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you.
In these uncertain times, good health is a must. Let Quality Diagnostic Laboratory provide you with fast, accurate results of the medical laboratory tests that you need. At QDL, our qualified and experienced staff can provide a host of blood, urine, and other tests in a safe, confidential, comfortable, and welcoming environment. We are open Monday to Friday from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. and Saturdays to 12 noon. We are at the corner of Fines Avenue and